Alright, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, Easy HVAC. Here today we are working on another Lennox. We actually have a blower motor to change out. The motor is grounded. This unit was actually tripping the breaker a couple of times. So we came up here and we saw that the fuses were blown. Those are the fuses. So the fuses were blown. We came and we tested the motor. We tested it from the contactor. Just to show you guys, to see that it is grounded. Right there. So yeah, we have the meter set to continuity, and we just check each leg to ground. And when you have, when you hear that beep, or when you have 0 ohms, you know that your motor is grounded. And to come over here, I want to show you what this motor sounds like. Here, those bearings are just shot. Yeah, pretty bad. So if you ever come up to a unit and you know that the breaker has tripped a couple times, never just come up to the unit and reset it. Always check, because systems typically don't trip. Breakers don't trip for, typically they don't trip for, they don't trip just to trip. There's typically always a reason. So when you have that issue, make sure you check all of your motors, your condensing fan motors, your blower motor, obviously your compressors. You want to get to the root of the cause. Always think bigger picture, right? So we're gonna get that motor changed out. This is the new motor, and it is a 3-phase horsepower, 3 horsepower motor. 3 horsepower blower motor. So let's go ahead and get to it. Right now we're just gonna slide the motor out, get everything disconnected. While he's working on that, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the wires from the contactor. Also pay attention to how you took out the wires so that you can put them back in the same spot. You know, I mean, so that when you connect the motor again, if you reverse, you know, if you were to reverse one of these leads, the motor may end up running backwards. Not that big of a deal, but just to save you some time, you know, take a picture, make marks, just make sure you put the wires back in their spot. So we've got the back disconnected, we've got the motor disconnected. Now we're just gonna pull it out. What he's doing right now is just removing the smoke detector, so that it will be easier to slide this out. There's a screw back there. All right, so that's out. Also, to slide this whole compartment out, there are 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the side that you just take out all of the screws, then you can slide this out. Pretty straightforward, really nothing to it. Now he's just loosening the motor bolts and the adjustment plate. Got the top 2. Okay, so he's gonna take that off. Now on the new motor, you have to make sure that you wire it up correctly according to the wiring diagram. This is a, let's see, I don't think this is a dual voltage motor. So some motors will be dual voltage and you'll have to like wire them up, you know, to the corresponding voltage. That's very important because if you don't, you know, you could potentially mess up the motor. But it looks like this one is not dual voltage. It's just straight 460 volt, 3 horsepower, 3 phase. Let's see, and I also don't see a wiring diagram on this one either. So this one should be good to go. But I'm gonna help Brian here get this motor up, and then we'll go from there. All right, so what we're doing now is taking out the old fuses. Those are coming out, and we're going to be putting new fuses in. And we will also remove the pulley or sheave, sheave or pulley, whichever you prefer. But this is the, you know, the motor pulley. We're gonna remove this. There's a set screw here, okay, and another set screw on the bottom somewhere. Where'd it go? Right there. So 2 set screws. This is an adjustable sheave or pulley too. It can be, you know, adjusted to fit the belt. But we are going to remove those 2 set screws, take this off, and put it on the new motor. Brian's got the new fuses in. Pretty simply, just take the old ones out, put the new ones in, make sure they're tight, make sure they make a good connection. Also check your wires from the breaker into the disconnect box and the wires going into the unit, into the terminal block. Make sure those are tight. All right, so the sheave is coming off. Bottom set screw. WD-40 also makes it easier for this to slide off. If you have trouble taking this off, try some WD-40. Sandpaper, sand down the shaft, spray it down really good, and typically, most of the time, it slides off pretty easily. We don't have any WD-40 right now. Or actually, scratch that. We do.
Got something better.
Look at that, guys. Penetrating one. So we're gonna give that a good spray. And it smells pretty good too. Is that lemon scented?
I don't know, man. It's like WD-40 times 2.
WD-40 on crap.
Shit.
Yeah, but those bearings, you can hear them.
That's all they needed.
Yeah, let's put the motor back on. We fixed it with the oil alone.
Just let it sit for a minute.
So we're just gonna let that sit. Let it really sink in. Then we'll take it off. Put it on the, like I said, put it on the new motor, and we'll get it up there. But yeah, guys, this is pretty simple. There's nothing to it. This is a smaller blower motor, so when we have a bigger blower motor to change out, like say 10 horsepower, we'll also get that on video and show you how to change one of those out. But I mean, it's pretty much the same. Right now, Brian is using the puller to get the sheave off. Got the set screws loosened. and easy. Alright, so this is the new motor. We're sanding the shaft to make it easier for the pulley or sheave to slide down. Alright, that's nice and clean and smooth. We're also going to sand the inside of the shaft. I'm sorry, the sheave. Going on there. It takes a couple times. Sometimes to get it on there. But just keep working with it. If you're having trouble, if you can't slide it on there the first time. That is the keyway that helps keep the pulley in place, and it goes in that slot on the shaft. So we're just, right now he's lining it up. So you have to line up the slot right here on the pulley and the slot on the shaft, so you can slide the keyway down all the way. Sometimes you may have to sand the keyway as well.
Should have done that. We won't tighten until we get it up here though. That way we can align it with the other pulley.
You ready to put it up?
Sounds good. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it right now.
Okay. Alright guys, so we've got the new motor on the mounting plate. Right now we're just tightening down the screws. It was just 4 screws, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. We're just tightening those up. We've got the pulley on. That is pretty much it. All that's left is to rewire the motor to the contactor and then to put the belt back on. So we did replace the contactor. This is our new contactor. We've already got it wired up. Wires are nice and tight, luxury tight. back to connect the wires. Oh, this is a OEM motor, okay? So the other one was a universal motor. This is OEM, directly from Lennox factory. So again, this is 3-phase, just 3-phase, not dual voltage.
Just the wires to oh, never mind. No, she said not dual voltage.
Yep, not dual voltage, so we don't have to rewire anything. You know, in our last video we had a motor. It was a condensing fan motor that we were changing out, and that was a dual voltage motor, and we didn't notice it was a carrier. The motor went on a carrier system, but basically there was a plug on the motor that you had to switch for the corresponding voltage. So it was 270 460 volt motor, but we didn't notice the plug, so we actually hooked up the motor with the wrong voltage, and it ended up messing the motor up. So yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so just like, you know, just be cautious of that. Always pay attention. He's just putting on the rubber bushing to protect the wires, to make sure they do not get cut. You know, without that bushing there, if you were just to put the wires in there with no protection, you risk damaging the wires and shorting out. You know, short out, breaker will trip. He's putting on the belt right now. Just slides on there. Make sure it's nice and straight, lined up correctly. And you can use a straight edge if you need to make sure that it lines up correctly. We don't have a straight edge, so
You don't need it.
Brian says he's the top tech, so he doesn't need it.
Top G.
Top G right here.
No,
But yeah, if you use a straight edge, or even if you want to get really fancy, you can use the laser pointer, just to make sure that everything is aligned properly. Right now he's just tightening down the set screws on the pulley. There's the smoke detector. Alright, let's wire up the motor. So it's line 1, line 2, and line 3. But since everything is OM, we're just matching up the colors. But if you do find out, or if you turn the motor on and your motor is running in reverse, all you have to do is just reverse any 2 leads. Reverse 2 leads, you can do that here at the bottom of the contactor. And then your motor should start running the right way. So we've got yellow with yellow, red with red, blue with blue. Got the wires taped up. Motor is secured. We got everything tight. The back plate is back on. All that's left to do is secure these wires, wires right there, and to put that smoke detector back. And then we'll just slide the unit back in. And the screws that you took out to slide the assembly out, you just put those back in. Pretty straightforward, guys. There's really nothing to it. This is, again, a smaller motor, 3 horsepower, but if we do a bigger one, we'll also make a video on that. But hope you enjoyed this how-to video on how to change out a blower motor. If you liked the video, if you liked the content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all future videos. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you on the next one.